Welcome to the Kyber Lab, where we're looking at Profundity versus Executor with 3 attackers. We're looking for 72 banners here, and there's no real gear check. That's related to the speeds, of course, since we're talking about ships. Same with mods. It all relates to the speed of the ships, which are influenced by the gear and the mods of the characters, the pilots. So, in terms of the overall matchup, and speeds, the only thing that really matters, assuming all ships are at 7 stars, by the way, the only thing that really matters is if IG is faster than Xanadu Blood. And again, this only matters if IG survives the opening salvo and is not ability blocked, which is extremely low likelihood of it happening. If that happens and IG is faster than Xanadu Blood, you will almost certainly lose. Just to keep in mind, but that's like a 5% chance of that happening. So we're going to now talk about the best way to play this fight. The priority when we're going through this match is to kill IG-2000 before it can move. Second priority is stop IG-2000 from stunning, and usually if he's stunned, then that ship is targeted by the enemy AI and it will kill it and you will lose. So if you can kill IG-2000, great. If you can ability block him, even better, and protect your Hans Millennium Falcon and or Outrider. So to do this, you always need to call the Outrider to assist and to not Hans Millennium Falcon. Mathematically, this is very clear in terms of what the best way to move forward is. I'm going to talk about the mechanics and talk a lot about the chances or the probability on the opening move, which aspect is better. The key thing here to keep in mind is even if you succeed at the opening move and land the ability block, there are still a few other interesting mechanics. They will look at this fight that we have to review to cover them as well. How you can succeed past the opening move even if you have RNG going against you. So let's talk about the opening move. The mechanics are generally assist-based. What you want is to get 6 instances of damage on IG-2000 on the opening move, because Profundity's unconventional maneuver, that's what you'll use in the 3 attacker versus the 3 attacker executive fleet, calls a target to attack twice, and then after all of the damage has been done, inflicts debuffs based upon the instances of damage that were applied. So really what we care about is 7 and more, because at 7 and higher, an unresistible ability block will be applied to the target. This prevents IG-2000 from stunning one of your ships on his opening move if he survives. So the various assist mechanics. There are primarily 2 ships that influence the assist chances. Profundity's crew ability, which grants any rebel ship, everything here is rebel related. I may not mention it in my descriptions, but they're all related to rebel ships. So anytime they crit, there's a 20% chance every crit for a random ally to be called to assist. There's no diminishing returns or cap on this, so it could happen infinitely. Hans Millennium Falcon, his basic will always call some other ally to assist, rebel ally. And he has a unique that whenever a other rebel ally uses an ability on their turn, he has a 50% chance to assist. So for this particular fight, it really only matters on Profundity's opening move, because all the other things that happen on Profundity's opening move are assists, not abilities on the turn of those ships. To kill IG-2000, sometimes you can get lucky with Hans Millennium Falcon assist Outrider when Outrider takes its turn, but that's not related to the ability block, that's just related to damage. So Rebel Y-Wing has a unique where he has a 35% chance to assist whenever another Rebel ally attacks out of turn. This is not related to on their turn or anything. Anytime an out of turn attack assist occurs, Rebel Y-Wing can assist 35% of the time. Crit chance. So Hans Millennium Falcon gives 20% crit chance to all Rebel allies, including himself. So HMF and Outrider have a 55% chance. and Rebel Y-Wing and Profundity have 44% chance with the buffs. So let's look at the math here and the probabilities of calling Han Solo and Falcon first versus Outrider first. What is the, I will not like actually read all of my math, I'll summarize it. You can read it yourself. You can pause and read it yourself if you like. So if Han Solo and Falcon is called first, he'll attack twice. Each of these attacks, he will call one of the other random 3 ships, Profundity, Rebel Y-Wing, or Outrider. If he calls Outrider at least once, you will reach 7 instances of damage frequently. Because if he calls Outrider once, he will deal damage twice. Outrider will do damage 3 times, so that's 5. And then the other ship will deal damage 1 time, that's 6. You still need a Rebel Y-Wing assist to occur, or an assist on crit to occur. So it's still not 100% if Outrider assists once, which is a 35% chance. The chance of Outrider assisting twice is like 17%, so very, very little. So as I mentioned, there's a 35% chance that Rebel Y-Wing will assist. And if Outrider is called, anyway, you also have the 50% chance that Han's Millennium Falcon assists the Profundity. This actually doesn't make that big of a difference unless Outrider assists at some point also. So it's all about Outrider assisting at least once. Now we look at critical hits. So each time that Han's Millennium Falcon crits, he has 55% chance of, or hits, he has a 55% chance of critting. Each crit has a 20% chance. Again, if Outrider is called once, there's 3 hits at 55% chance crit each. So one of them will probably call one. One of them, in general, you have like a 60% chance of calling an assist via that. But altogether, you have roughly, if Outrider is called once, you have roughly a 90% chance to call one other assist via crits. So this is what I'm talking about. If Outrider is called once, you have about a 90% chance of getting your 7 hits in. However, if you add everything together, put it and calculate the probability, you are ending up with a 78% probability of generating 7 hits if you call Han's Millennium Falcon first. I'm not talking about damage here. Broadly speaking, calling Han's Millennium Falcon first results in higher damage because he hits much harder than Outrider does. It hits much harder than Outrider does. However, that is a whole other calculation and much more complicated. So I'm focused on the 7 hits because that is really what matters in terms of stopping your loss on the first turn of Executor. So 70% chance of generating 7 hits if you call Han's Millennium Falcon first. Outrider is much easier, much less RNG involved. For all of this, there is the 2% dodge chance as well. I did not include that in my calculation because it affects everything. Hits, crits, you have to crit if you want to crit in the first place. And it actually negatively affects the Han Millennium Falcon attacks more because you have more assists, and each of those assists, you in general are trying to generate more crits there to gain an assist. So it's easier, and with damage also, you're hoping for a kill with that more than a crit or an assist rather. And so if you miss there, your chances of a kill are lower since you're attacking more with Han's Millennium Falcon. So I didn't include dodges in this calculation is what I'm trying to say. So let's assume Outrider is called. So he'll attack 6 times in total, or he'll do damage 6 times in total. Each of these assists will have a 35% chance of calling Rebel Y-Wing. The same 50% chance of Han's Millennium Falcon is there to assist the Profundity. Each of the crits, or each of the hits, has a 20% chance to generate an assist. If we do the same probability there is a 94% chance that you will generate 7 hits with Outrider calling to assist versus with Hans Millennium Falcon. So, call Outrider first. Now that that's out of the way, you have, let's say, approximately 75% chance of not losing the fight in Executor's open move. So let's watch how this fight goes and see what happens. So this is Ginger Jesus, actually. Good content creator. Interesting fights. So let's see, we do the assist. He calls Outrider. Let's watch. So we got an assist from Rebel Y-Wing. We instantly know we have 7 hits. He's going to land ability block. Then Outrider goes again. Damage was mediocre, not great. But we have ability block, which is very important. Looks like probably shield disruption as well, which means that that's 9+ hits, which are not guaranteed by any means. Or maybe we have days from Profundity if they assisted. Which means then that, again, shield disruption hits are guaranteed critical hits. Let's see if that is the case. It looks like it. Hans Millennium Falcon assisted, whether it's from a crit or from Outrider's ability usage, we don't know. But Xanadu Blood is dead. So that's great. That will happen 90+% of the time if you call Outrider first. So now here we have like worst case scenario. Maybe not worst case. Well, I think it's worst case because Outrider is a lot squishier than Hans Millennium Falcon. So we had double tap from Xanadu Blood as well. Let's see if Xanadu now calls Razor Crest. Another worst case scenario. You probably die here most of the time. Let's see where there are crits. No crits there. No crits there. So not really. This is sort of a good scenario. Bad RNG on targeting, good on damage. So now we go for Xanadu Blood. Excellent. Got a daze, that's lucky, but doesn't really change the outcome of the fight. Here's very interesting. Very smart move. When you have Outrider still alive, instead of calling an assist, which is common for many players to do, we're going to go with the heal move, and more importantly, stealth. So it gives stealth now to Outrider, who can then use his second special and generate speed up. Make sure that your Hans Millennium Falcon will go before the enemy Xanadu Blood due to the speed up it's getting. Very, very key. Kill Xanadu Blood, and the fight is effectively over. There was some luck here that you were able to protect your Outrider, but in this case, even if the Outrider was lost, you still could have won. Your Hans Millennium Falcon was perfectly healthy. You bring in a reinforcement instead and go to kill. You bring Cassian's U-Wing and go to kill Xanadu Blood, and then it's just cleaning up and eventually a win for 72 banners. In this case, though, it's pretty easy. Got a lot of assists, went to ultimate, and fight's over. We don't need to see the very end of the fight, but it ends for 72, I believe. 75. Oh, because he protected everybody. 75, of course. So that's how the fight goes. There's actually very little RNG involved in surviving the opening salvo. You have about a 95% chance of winning if you call Outrider first versus Hans Millennium Falcon. So there you go. This was not 7 minutes, but I hope you found it helpful. Cheers. Good luck.